Beneath a sky painted in strokes of blood red, stretching endlessly over the desolate wasteland, rode Kaelen, a tiefling warrior forged in fire and shadow. His infernal heritage marked him in unsettling ways, horns curling like the crescent moon against skin streaked with ash, eyes ablaze amber with relentless fire. But the deepest scars were woven into his soul, wounds of regret, betrayal, and an aching thirst for redemption that no blade could sever. Once, Kaelen stood as a soldier of the Crimson Legion, a force whispered about in fearful tones across kingdoms for its ruthless might. Now, that merciless life lay buried beneath the sands and ashes of this forsaken land. Yet the weight of his past sins crushed him still, as heavy as the great sword strapped across his back. Each swing a desperate attempt to cut through chains not just forged by steel, but by broken oaths and blood-soaked memories. The world's scorn clung to him, as stubborn and unrelenting as the desert dust weathering his worn leather. His companions, though few, were the fragile anchors tethering Kaelen to a glimmer of hope. There was Aaron, the stoic human cleric, wielding the god's sanctuary as shield and blade. Miri, a sharp-tongued elven rogue, whose laughter veiled a past as haunted as Kaelen's own, and Brahm, the hulking half-orc barbarian, whose brute strength was matched only by his gentle heart. Together, they forged a delicate alliance, each shackled by their own burdens, but united by a single desperate goal: to prevent a prophecy that threatened to swallow their world in shadow. It was Aaron who uncovered an ancient text beneath the rubble of a forgotten temple. Words murmured across centuries with trembling fear. The prophecy spoke of a harbinger whose return beneath these blood-red skies would unleash a darkness so profound that even the bravest souls would wither and fade. This harbinger bore unmistakable marks: eyes aflame with infernal fire, a weapon born of blood, and a heart torn between salvation and eternal damnation. Kaelen recognized the prophecy's echo in himself. "Is this me?" he whispered into the night, his voice rough and brittle like dry ash by the campfire's glow. Aaron's gaze weighed heavily with sorrow. The prophecy names no one outright, yet all signs converge on you. The land's anguish, the crimson skies, the shadows rising, they point to your path. But fate remains a shifting flame, not a carved stone. Miri broke the heavy silence, her voice sharp as the blade she carried. "So what then? Do we let the world burn because some ancient script casts Kaelen as the villain?" Kaelen felt the wasteland's eyes upon him, the ghosts of every fallen comrade, every mistake that gnawed at his soul. He wrestled with a suffocating truth. The destiny he fled might be the one he was born to fulfill. Redemption shimmered ahead like a mirage, fragile and fleeting amidst the heat waves of uncertainty. Days slipped into shadowed nights as they sprinted across the barren expanse, hunted by shadowed figures seeking to hasten doom. Every jagged canyon path and monstrous encounter chipped away at their trembling resolve. Yet Kaelen's blade never faltered. His heart burned fiercer, driven by a vow not merely to survive, but to shatter the chains of prophecy itself. In the quiet moments between battles, Kaelen's thoughts tore through his resolve like a tempest. "If this curse is mine to carry, then I will own it on my terms. I will be the storm that breaks these chains, not the shadow that fulfills them." The climax crashed upon them like a raging storm when the warlocks of the Black Covenant trapped them atop the bleeding cliffs, the very edge where the earth seemed to weep its crimson sorrow. The dark chant rose, echoing Kaelen's name as if summoning him to embrace the harbinger he feared he was. His friends fought with desperate valor, but it was Kaelen who stepped forward, his sword blazing with fierce, righteous fire. "Not today," he growled, eyes aflame, his voice cutting through the ominous silence. "I am no pawn of prophecy." With a roar, he plunged into the heart of their ritual, his blade slicing through darkness and doubt alike. Above, the skies thundered, swirling with blood and flame, yet Kaelen stood unyielding, breaking the chains of his past beneath his resolute steps. As the ritual shattered, the wasteland exhaled, a fragile breath of hope returned. In the quiet aftermath, Kaelen knelt beside the fallen, eyes fixed on a horizon tinted not with blood, but with possibility. Redemption, he whispered, is not a gift. It is the fire we forge within. And so this chapter closes beneath crimson skies, where a tiefling warrior defied the fate that sought to claim him. If you've ever carried the weight of your past or questioned if fate truly binds us all, tell us, what would you do if you were Kaelen? Could you break free from a prophecy's shadow? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to Tales from the Tavern Table for more stories that light the darkest nights.